Right, let's get started. So first of all, this video is sponsored by Artlist. If you want to get 2 months for free, go check out the link in the description. But yeah, basically Artlist offers you music that you can use for your client projects and to monetize your YouTube videos as well. But they also have a voiceover AI now that I'm using a lot. It's great for projects, for freelancing, but as well for making advertisements and all of that. So it's actually pretty insane. I'll show you at the end what I used it for and how it sounds. But without further ado, let's start grading. So let's start with this clip here, which is in the beginning of the video as well. And I'm going to show you how you can grade it from scratch. Usually I just use my LUTs, but for this one, let's grade it from scratch. If you want to check out my LUTs, you can go to the link in the description, and there's also a discount code there. But let's get started. So the first thing that we do is we're going to use a color space transform. So let's go. The way we do this is just going here to input color space, and we add a Sony S Gamut 3 Cine color space, and then we go and for output color space we put Rec 709. So let's do that. And then in the next one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the curves. So usually I just make this curve. Let me try to get it right. So something like this. And then afterwards I go to the contrast and I add contrast until I like it. And then I think we can take down the gamma and the lift a bit. And then I'll add some pivot. And now we have a pretty natural image. And now we can continue. So one thing that I want to do now is I want to add some color contrast. So I do this by separating the colors. I want to separate the horse from the background, but also the color of the horse from the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the qualifier tool and select the colors of the horse. Then I click Shift H to invert it. And then I start making a mask of the colors of the horse. And then I add some feather. So no colors go without being selected. And then let me try to make it more smooth here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue so that I can show you what happens if I leave these parts untouched. So what I want to do now is I'm gonna click Shift H again. And I'm gonna add a node, add an outside node. So now this node is gonna affect everything but the mask, and the mask is basically the horse. So here is where I want to add the opposite color of the horse to the background. So I'm gonna do that by going to the gamma, which is the midtones, and I'm gonna add a lot of bluish tint to that, and then also to the shadows a bit. So now what you can see is you can see all of these artifacts here, as you can see. And we want to get rid of that because it doesn't look good. So now we go back here, we click Shift H, and now we're gonna make a mask, but I don't think the circular mask is gonna work too well. So instead we're just gonna make a pen, use the pen tool for the mask here. And the horse doesn't move that much. If the horse moves in the image, it's gonna be much more difficult. You have to track it, and it takes more time. Now let's also soften it a bit, and maybe expand it. And now let's click Shift H again, and go to the other node. And as you can see, everything is gone now there. I think we can add a little bit of contrast back, so let's go to the curves and add a little bit of contrast to make the image a little bit more the way I like it. So that looks good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the color from the shadows and from the blacks. So I do that by adding a curve, and I go to this one, which is the curves luminance versus saturation, and I take out the saturation out of the blacks now. If I show you here now, it's going to take it out of the midtones, now out of the highlights. So let's leave it as that. I think we can add some more interesting colors to the highlights here. So let's go here and create some warmth in the highlights. And maybe we can go back and also edit a little bit more here. Yeah, I quite like that. And now the image is starting to look really good. Now what we want to do next is create a node and add some parallel nodes. I'm just doing it like this, but you can also find the shortcuts for it to work faster. But now at least you can see where they are at. So let's add a mask. And this mask is going to be to darken the edges. So we have to invert it for that. And then here in gamma, we take it down. And that looks really cool. So now, what else are we gonna do? We're gonna make a couple more notes. And in this note, we're gonna play with the individual colors. So we go to hue versus saturation. I think all the hues look fine, so what I want to do here is I actually want to increase the saturation of the reds. So let's do that, as you can see, and then also of the greens a bit. And now the image is starting to look really, really cool. And then afterwards, we're going to sharpen it a bit. So we're going to go here and then sharpen this. Let's take it down to 0.47. You shouldn't go past that. And then we add some grain here for the final touches. So let's use that. And then at the end I add a bleach bypass LUT that I have in my LUT package. So now it's added, but you don't want to use this at full intensity. I use it sometimes at full intensity in like desert scenes because I really liked it to be desaturated there, but here we're going to take it down. And then afterwards I'm going to give it a little bit of a color boost. And I think now the image looks really great. So maybe here I take down the reds again a bit because it's a bit too much, as well as the greens. And then yeah, there's certain things that we can still do to the image, but I think it's starting to look really cool, and I think you get the idea of how you can color grade really nicely from scratch. So this is the before and this is the after. But yeah, I hope you like this grade. If you want to achieve more like the look in the beginning, then I think you have to take out a little bit from the highlights and make it more bluish. And then this one you might want to make a little bit more bluish as well, so that you can get more of this grade that we had in the beginning. And yeah, as I promised, I wanted to show you what I've been working on with Artlist voice over AI. So here's a snippet of a video that I'm making for a software that's coming out soon, which is a pre-production software for filmmakers. So let me show you.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could have access to all of your favorite productivity tools but be learning new things at the same time? Introducing StoryFlow, the all-in-one productivity tool for writing, planning, and presenting better communication through the help of expert knowledge. Our projects consist of productivity tools and tactics. The first tool is the whiteboard, allowing...
So to get this, I just went to Artlist, typed out the script, and the job that it did is actually insane. So I think it's a 10 out of 10. So yeah, if you want to get access to this, go to the link in the description to get 2 months for free. And I hope to see you in the next video.